Welcome back to Or Something Like That, the podcast where you can talk shit with your besties. We're your besties and your hosts, Sam
and Hollis. Thanks for being here. Now let's start the show. All right, so what's been up with you?
Well, just to start off, I'm really getting into that space where the daylight savings is...
It
was dark. Yeah. It was I feel, this is an exaggeration, but I really feel like, I was like, okay, it's 3:30, it's starting to get dark.
What?
And this is an exaggeration, but like that's just how I felt. At 3:30, I was like, okay, it's gonna be dark any minute. I'm leaving here soon to like go to Hollis's. I need a coffee. It's gonna be definitely gonna be dark when I leave. I need a coffee. So one thing about me, I'm a black coffee girly. Mm-hmm. I drink my coffee black. I don't need fancy coffee. I buy the Kroger brand. It's half calf. And that's just where we're at.
Oh, God. I'm a coffee snob.
I know. So I'm like, I got this little idea, though, because, and this is not sponsored, but if your algorithms are similar to ours and you've been inundated with the Armra ads, I'm saying go for it. Hollis and I both are taking it and love it. I feel like the benefits have been great, but we can get into that later. But I think because I'm now on my third container, they sent me one of those little frother things for free, you know?
Ooh, I've always wanted one of those.
Okay, so they advertise it when you buy your first container, like, oh, get the frother so you can, because you're not supposed to put the Armor in hot drinks. So I think the idea is like make your iced coffee and do your little like froth thing or whatever. And I'm like, I don't need that thing because I'm just going to dry scoop it anyway. But then they sent it to me for free. So this afternoon, I'm like, I'm just going to like make a little fancy coffee at home. Like, oh, why not?
Tis the season.
So I brewed some coffee. And then this other thing that I have that you may have seen too from a company called Apothecary. I do some other like herbal tincture. I don't know how you say it. But anyway, I have this powder one called Chill Out. It's like this little cocoa powder. So it's like, I'm going to put that in some coffee. I'm going to caffeinate and I'm going to chill the fuck out.
And
okay?
froth?
And froth.
Holy shit.
But I've never used one of these things before. So I pour the coffee in, I put a little milk in, and I go to froth it. And I think it has like 3 speeds. And of course, I'm not reading the instructions. I'm just like, put it together, like put it in there. So I start frothing and it's like flying everywhere all over them. I'm like, no. So then I'm trying to turn it off. I turned it up higher.
Oh, no.
So I frothed all over my kitchen. It's basically half the drink spilled out of the cup. So that was my journey with my coffee drink. But, and you know what? It was mediocre, the drink. But what are you going to do?
So did you remake it? And
I didn't. No,
you were like,
I just drank it.
My
journey ends here. I'm going to drink it.
The time has ended.
The sun is set.
The window is closed.
That's right. But, you know, it did what it was supposed to do. I got a little
pep in your step.
Little pep in my step.
So you can still drink coffee. Like, I never used to be this way, but now I hit like 35. If I drink coffee after 4, I'm one of those people where I'm like, I'll be up all night. It's true. I'll be up all night with anxiety.
Yeah, I can drink a caffeinated beverage up until about 2 hours before I go to bed.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And
That's
all right.
pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I still do it.
Yeah.
Don't
get me wrong. I still do. I will never forget this one time, like in 2011. I came home from working at the bar. It was like 11:30 at night. And this bitch did not work out. I mean, she does now. But when we were younger, like you know, I come home from my shift at the bar and she's like sitting on the living room floor putting her tennis shoes on. And I go, what are you doing? She's like, I just got to go for a quick run. I got to go for a little run. She'd had like 75 cups of coffee. I've
never gone for a quick run in my life.
No, I'm like, what are you talking about? She'd been like working on some project for school and was like, I gotta go run off some of this.
I did. It was like, I'd worked myself into quite a tizzy and I was like, I don't think I'd ever physically got
to expend some energy.
I have to like run this off. And I did. I probably ran for like half a block and was like, all right.
Yeah, I don't recall you being gone that long, but oh my God. But it was like almost midnight or something. And I was just like, are you sure you should be doing that? Are you taking a bodyguard? Yeah. Like, what's happening?
Oh my God.
Anyway.
The good old days.
So I also have just like a quick expansion on my Doomsday Parent topic from last episode. If you haven't listened to bonus episode 3, I highly recommend it. It's a good one. But on my controversial take at the end, my final thought about, having an open and honest dialogue, and maybe that helps people make more informed decisions about whether or not to have kids, and maybe less people are having children, that maybe that's not such a bad thing. I also just wanted to expand on that and say that I feel like too, for a long time, especially women, but men too, I feel like would get like, when are you gonna like settle down? Don't you want a family? Like a lot of talk of that. And
I get that question all the time.
Yeah, and for women, like, don't you want to have a baby? When are you gonna have a baby? And I think for a lot of people when they have children, it does become like this very fulfilling thing, probably the most fulfilling thing in your life. And that was true for me, and I'm grateful for that. And I love being a mom, and I can't imagine my life not. But I also think that we're moving in a direction of like being less judgmental of people choosing not to. And I don't think that you need that to have a fulfilling life. And I think for a long time there was a lot of like pressure and judgment about that. And I think that that's a good thing too. If people want to choose lives without children, they should be able to choose that without feeling like it makes them like less than. You know what I mean?
Oh, for
and
sure.
I think too, the same even just like partnerless. You're seeing that more and more often too. And I just think that's a good thing as well.
Oh, yeah, me too. I think, things have changed drastically in the last 20 years for the better, and that people are starting to understand that things are on a spectrum, almost all things.
Right.
And that there is no right or wrong, black or white answer.
Right.
There's a million different ways to live a life.
And be content.
And none is better than the other.
Right.
Yeah.
And we've, talked a lot about like contentedness and like what that truly even means. And like, it's a tough one. It really is.
We talked about doing a whole episode about that, which
we probably will, because we have other stuff to get into on this one. But yeah, there are many, many paths and journeys to contentedness, and they don't look the same.
Yeah, and it gets really existential. I feel like you can really go deep and like break it down into ways that are, really unlock who you are as a person.
Right.
So I think about that all the time.
Yeah.
Because I am in that situation. I'm at a certain age for a woman where I have to consider those things and decide like, is that something I really want to make a priority in my life?
And that is
why not? And
that is a burden that women
one.
have that men don't. That's where there is a difference with, men don't have that burden. They don't have to choose within a certain window of opportunity, which does make it a little more difficult, I think, for us. But
sure. Yep, we're so lucky.
God, I know. We're just like really.
Well, we are, at the same time. Cool. Well, yeah, good thoughts.
Yeah. Anyway,
hear those, all those thoughts.
Just a quick update on the kids, because so my youngest is 16 months, and this is just like my favorite age. I just love it so much. I would say about 10 months to like 18 months, just under 2. That's really the golden age for me. It's like they're still so sweet, but like their personalities are like really starting to come out, and everything they do is adorable, and everything they like do is just hilarious.
And they smell so good.
And they're still so squishy, and it's just the best. I just can't stop squeezing her, and it's bittersweet because I love it so much, but it's also like, this is my last baby, and as long as everything goes according to plan, I can't really know, but I'm planning for this to be my last baby. And I'm just in that phase of like trying to soak up every minute, and also just like having that grief of like, this is it. This is it. And while I'm very excited to like move into the next chapter, and there's things that are exciting about them getting older, because there are just certain things that get easier, traveling, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's bittersweet. Everything about parenting to an extent is bittersweet, but I don't know. It's like every time I see a freshie, I'm like, ooh.
Ooh, a freshie.
I'm like, am I done?
straight
Am I really
morsel.
done? Am I really done? It's just, there's nothing about me that really wants a third child, but it is hard to like let that go.
Yeah,
it is.
Baby fever is real.
Yeah.
I get around your kids and I'm like, I want a baby.
Yeah.
You know, and then other times I'm like, I don't.
Right.
Babies. It's a real conundrum.
Yeah.
I need to come see them because I haven't seen her in a while, and I feel like I'm gonna see her and be like, oh my god, you're
Dude.
huge.
She's
and I know
huge.
how fleeting it is, and I don't want to miss.
You don't want to miss it. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, babies.
Bye-bye.
You have two really cute ones too.
They're pretty freaking cute. Oh my gosh, I gotta show you their picture with Santa. It's the best.
Oh, man.
We went and we saw Santa Saturday. We went to the Christmas market, a handmade like fair or whatever downtown, and Santa was there. So
He was there?
Oh
Oh my gosh.
Santa was
this
there.
This morning on my way to work, I turned off Hillside onto Walnut, and on the sidewalk, walking right past the bus stop, was a woman, just an average looking woman, and pushing the stroller next to her was a man in a full Santa costume.
Nice.
Just walking down the sidewalk. And I was like, man, I wonder if that guy is that's his job this time of year.
He's just a
and
Santa?
He's like about to leave for work, and he's like, well, we're going to take our morning stroll as we normally do, but
In my Santa costume.
yeah. I really just wanted to stop and be like, what's the sitch?
Right. I need the backstory
Tell
on
me
this.
about your life. But it was a good scene to see. I
Nice.
was like, all right, I don't know what's going on.
Little
there.
holiday cheer for you.
It felt like big city, you know, not like Bloomington.
Yeah.
Like just random shit that you would see in like a large city, not just a
Right.
whatever.
I mean, every town needs Santas, you know?
Yeah.
Needs your seasonal Santa.
Exactly. It's that time of year. Although it's not. It's not even Thanksgiving.
No, it's not. But Santa's clearly already making appearances.
Yes.
So,
And people are putting up their decorations already.
oh, for sure. Well, and
And you know what? I am not mad at it.
No.
Honestly, if you need some cheer, go right ahead.
yeah, don't steal my joy.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
fine with that.
yeah, let's
Lean
get
all the way into it.
Let's lean into the cheer. I agree.
Yeah.
And it was kind of funny though, because the Santa, he said, you know, my 5-year-old walked up to him and he was like, oh, he's like, what did he say exactly? It was so, he was like, are you, he's like, I'm not even thinking about Christmas yet. He's like, we got to have Thanksgiving first. And kind of laughed, and she kind of laughed. And then
She was like, fuck Thanksgiving.
I know. And I almost was like, bro, you do know kids are going to be telling you what they want for Christmas. That's like your whole deal here. Like, you can't just like glaze over the fact that it's too early. Like, you got
to be like, what are you grateful for this year?
yeah,
little girl?
no, dude. It's definitely, it's the lists. Be ready. So anyway,
Oh, it's funny.
speaking of Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
it's right around the corner. Let's see,
know.
we're recording today and we will be releasing today. So it's a week away almost.
I know. I can't believe it. I'm so excited for the 4-day weekend.
Oh yeah, that's
I'm
nice.
very grateful for the 4-day weekend this year. I'm
Yeah.
practicing being grateful because I know I talk a lot of BS.
We talked about gratitude.
Yeah, and I just want to
Last
say
episode.
I am grateful. I am practicing gratitude.
We are grateful. Don't get it twisted. We are grateful.
And this year I am grateful for the 4-day break. I'm going to be taking.
It's nice that you get a 4-day break, because when I worked in corporate America, we
I
had to
don't
go back to
technically.
work on Friday.
I mean,
That always
technically I'm
sucked.
supposed to, but I
You're
have
taking it off and-
like
yeah.
200 hours of PTO, so I'm
Well, the
taking
problem
it.
with the bank was like not everybody, every employee
exactly.
can't take some jobs. It doesn't matter if nobody's there for a day,
Right,
Whereas
yeah.
at the bank, somebody always had, I'm going to be there,
Yeah.
So it was like everybody would put in the request, and it's like, now listen,
Yeah, we can't
not everybody
all-
can take off.
Yeah, luckily at my job, I can just be like, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
And yeah, we always go to my aunt's house. She and her husband are really good cooks. They make a bunch of food. All the fam is there.
Nice.
So it'll be fun. Except for last year, my uncle makes the best gravy known to man from scratch.
Yeah.
And it's so good. And last year, he did not make gravy. And
Was he going through something?
I don't know. I don't know what was wrong, but there wasn't even like, jarred canned gravy.
This is just like the dry ass turkey.
And I was like, guys, turkey and mashed potatoes are like practically inedible without gravy.
Yeah, it's like the Dust Bowl. You can't.
Yeah, it's like eating a tumbleweed. It's not good. But so my mom, we've been talking about this for like a year, and my mom told my aunt, she was like, "There must be gravy.
We will not be there unless there's gravy."
She was like, "I didn't have gravy." And she was like, "No, there's no gravy." So I think I'm gonna be extra grateful this year because I think there's gonna be gravy.
4-day weekend and gravy.
Oh my God,
you're cleaning up.
We're partying hard.
Heck yeah. Well,
There's
we have
green bean casserole.
Yeah, I'm not a big green bean casserole gal. No.
What?
No.
For real?
No.
What, you don't like porridge casserole?
I just don't. And here's the thing.
I mean, it's flavorless mush, but it's so good.
It's mush. I love green beans. They're like one of my favorite vegetables. I love green beans.
Do you like canned green beans?
Not really, no.
Yeah, see, these are
you know what, though? I'll eat frozen ones occasionally.
Ew, see, no, that's where I draw the line. I don't eat canned green beans. I hate frozen green beans.
Oh, really? See, frozen ones are so much more fresh tasting.
Well, yeah, okay, sure. If I'm eating just the green beans,
yeah,
I guess. But yeah, I'm talking about specifically the green bean casserole.
Okay, yeah.
Because one year somebody made it with frozen, and I was
and
like,
it wasn't great.
No. This needs to be mushier.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like, I don't know what it is. It's just not for me. It's just not for me.
Cool. I mean, it's not like it's, you know, when it comes to cuisine, it's not like it's the most complex or,
yeah.
You know.
And it doesn't have, you know, comfort food is comfort food. It doesn't have to be.
It's like the crispy
I'm a
onions.
dressing stuffing girl.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love it.
And do you see, this is my thing about Thanksgiving is I don't like my Thanksgiving food tarted up too much. I really like
You don't like it zhuzhed?
No.
Yeah. See, I make and it's a pretty basic stuffing recipe. It's got Italian sausage in the bread, and that's basically it. It's sausage, but it does have dried cranberries in it.
Is it made from real like breadcrumbs or do you
fuck yeah. No, I make it from scratch. Yeah.
See, I like both. I like both camps, but I love a stovetop stuffing. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I mean, I haven't had it in a really long time, but I do too. And like we've always bonded over the fact that like a can of Dinty Moore is about the best thing you can get.
Oh, hell yeah. And a grilled cheese with American cheese
with
and white bread.
Wonder Bread, American cheese slice, a Velveeta slice.
It's gotta,
and a canned bowl of Dinty Moore.
Oh my God.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy the finer things in food, but I also love just some.
I'm here for that.
Out of the mill shit too.
We have everyone to our house for Thanksgiving. We host, so
yeah,
it's
that's
nice.
Big, and you have a lot of people. Don't you have
well,
like
yeah,
15,
because this
people?
it's the only holiday that both my husband's family comes to and my family comes to. Like we do it together.
The worlds collide.
Yes, which I know is not like super common in a lot of families, and I'm so grateful for it because it's really kind of been that way though. Like since the beginning, I don't know. It's like his family lives in Indianapolis in like the same area as a lot of my family, and like some of our family, like one of my cousins, she's like a third cousin to me, actually went to school with my husband, and they like kind of played tennis together. And so we like, I don't know. It's just like his mom knew some of the same families that like that my family knew, and I don't know. So it's always been a situation where when we would have like a thing in Indianapolis at my family's that was more focused on my family, like when my cousin graduated from college or the other one high school, like one of my husband's sisters like popped in because they, you know, so it's always been like everybody gets along and everybody like kind of lives in the same area up there. So that's nice. But this is the only thing that we do all together. Like his whole family, my whole family comes to our house. And yeah, it's great because it's the only thing that we don't have to travel to like multiple places for.
Yeah, that's
you know, which is nice. And I like to host, and
yeah, you're a good host.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, we have a pretty good time. But I will say, like, we've kind of there's been like an evolution of like the food and the dishes, because I got to a point where it was like, I want to be able to spend more time together, like more fellowship, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's what the season's all about.
Yeah. My husband's sister does beautiful charcuterie. Like she'll come and she does like a whole charcuterie spread before dinner, and we have like a little cocktail and charcuterie hour before dinner. And then I just felt like we were spending all of this time like trying to get the dinner ready and get it on the table. So there's a couple things that we've done, and maybe this is like a tangible hack for like people who are looking to like simplify things. I had this idea to like do one year. I was like, let's do everybody who brings a side, like we do the turkey and the ham. My one uncle is allergic to all poultry, so he can't eat turkey, so we also do ham. I'm like, we'll do that and like one side, and then what if everybody just brings a crock pot dish? And we like plug them in so everybody was like trying to use the oven and it just like gets chaotic, you know? And that
everybody's trying to use the oven. That at least should be a rule. Like, do not bring something you have to bake.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
I mean, that's kind of how it was in like the first like couple of years. And we're lucky and we do have a double oven, but still it's just like trying. And even if it's like already baked, like people are like, oh, we need to warm this up. We need, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm surprised your type A personality wouldn't be like, no one's even allowed in the kitchen.
Well, you just really can't do that when it's like everybody's bringing something and, you know. So anyway, the crock pot thing has worked out great because there's so many things you can do in the crock pot. And so that's worked out great. Or people do bring some, like one year someone brought like a cold corn salad and it was delicious, you know, things like, So we did that. So people will just immediately like plug their crock pot in and, you know, it stays warm and we can do that. And that's been great. And I finally just like ditched the plates and stuff. Was like, we're doing paper plates. And like my husband and I try to be very conscious. Like we're not wasteful people. We recycle. Like we try to be, we compost. Like we try to be as environmentally conscious as possible. But I was like, this is a place where I'm willing to just like, we're doing paper plates. We're doing plastic silverware because the cleanup was taking too much time.
Oh, yeah,
you
that's
know,
a nightmare.
And it's like we want to spend time and like play games and like, you know. So anyway, those are a couple of things we've done that have made it a little more like streamlined and like. So yeah, it's nice. Everybody comes and it's a good time.
Nice. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have such fond memories of Thanksgiving as a kid. We always went to Ann Arbor to my grandmother's house, and now since my grandparents have passed on my dad's side, we go to my aunt's house.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love Thanksgiving. I would never be like, oh, it's my favorite holiday, but
it's a good one. It's
nice
a close second
together,
for me, I think, to Christmas. And we always go around the table and say what we're thankful for, and like that's nice too. And everybody usually gives a little like update on like what's going on with them, and you know, it's nice. It's just nice for everybody to.
I told my mom this year, I was like, okay, I'm gonna start bringing a dish because I'm still at that point in my family where I'm one of the younger ones. There is a younger generation, but like I'm one of the cousins who doesn't have kids.
Right.
And, you know, I wasn't here for a long time. So I feel like I've been going to Thanksgiving and not bringing anything. And last year it really struck me when I went to Thanksgiving dinner.
Empty-handed.
All my cousins who had kids were like bringing all this stuff they made. And I was like, oh my God.
And here's also their Dinty more. Like.
Yeah, not even. Literally empty-handed. I was like, oh, I guess I'm a full-grown adult now. I should probably contribute to this huge meal that everyone's making for me. So I still haven't decided what I'm going to make, but.
Well, I'm going to make a salad this year, which is it's delicious. It is shaved Brussels sprouts and arugula.
Oh, I love arugula.
With candied pecans, which don't let that intimidate you. It's very easy.
Do you candy them yourself?
Yes, but it's very easy. It really is.
Yes, bitch. I candy my pecans.
But it's easy. You can look up a recipe.
I made candy pecans as a Christmas gift one year.
Yeah, and I do maple syrup. It's like maple syrup, a little bit of olive oil, maple syrup, and just salt. I think it's pretty easy. And then it has bacon, and you can do the candied pecans and the bacon or pancetta on a sheet together. You can the pecans get in the bacon grease a little bit. Yeah. You just have to keep an eye on it because sometimes like one has to be kind of scooped out before the other, depending on how long your bacon takes to render. But anyway, and then it has goat cheese, and you can do like... Ooh,
that sounds good as fuck.
I put dried cranberries in it usually. Instead, I think the original recipe I looked up called for pomegranate seeds, but I was like, I'm not fucking with a pomegranate. I mean, they're a pain in the ass. So I did cranberries.
Also, like the seeds, I never understood that.
You got to get in there and like get the seeds out.
No, but I never understood that as like an additive to a salad. Why would you want the seeds?
Because they're like
they're really crunchy, but they're too crunchy. You
think?
Like bite? No, not for me. But that could just be me.
Well, you can use cranberry. I use dried cranberries.
This is a stupid idea. I wanted to do some kind of like elevated pigs in a blanket.
No, that's not a stupid idea. I love a pig in a blanket.
Who doesn't?
I mean, talk about the ultimate simple comfort food. A straight up crescent roll and a cocktail wiener. I am in.
Maybe it doesn't even have to be elevated. It can
just bring a pig in a blanket and you're going to be a hit. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sweet.
For sure.
I'm going to do that.
Okay. Can we move into fall trends a little bit?
Sure. Yeah.
Because I just have something to say.
Preach. Preach it.
I cannot get on board with loafers. I just can't. I think the penny loafer trauma runs too deep from childhood.
Are we talking about the black patent leather penny loafers?
I'm talking about really almost any loafer, but yes, specifically those very like specific 90s loafers with like the chunky heel.
Yeah.
You know?
I see people wearing them and they look so cute.
And like,
but it's one of those trends where I know if I try it, it will be so wrong.
Hideous.
Yeah.
And like, so I don't know if it's because like I'm a size 10 and like that's a big ass foot and a big ass loafer. Like, I don't know. Like, it's really almost like a combat boot at that point. It's not even a loafer anymore. I feel like it has to be like small and petite to be a loafer.
Yeah, like you're not loafing in
I'm not loafing in these. I'm just like stomping.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know.
No, I get that. And yeah, it's one of those things where I struggle with trends because on other people, I'm like, oh, I love it. And it looks so good. And then I try it and I'm like, I look like a clown. But maybe it's just, I should,
maybe we need to like shift our perspectives. I know. I do feel like a lot of the fall trends, I'm feeling it and I'm leaning in. And I feel like we really just need to, as a society, accept the fact that like women especially should just wear the style of jeans that looks good on your body. Like,
oh, sure.
If denim is in, denim is in. Like, why does it have to be like skinny jeans, baggy? Like, I am just a low-rise girly. I look better in low-rise, kind of baggier jeans. I mean, I can wear skinny jeans and look terrible, but like, I just look better in a low-rise jean. I just do. And for so long, it was like, oh my God, burn them. You know what I mean? And now they're back and I'm like, oh, thank God. And I have just decided like, this is my jean.
Yeah.
This is my jean. This is what looks good on me. Can we just like lean into that and like, can denim either be in or out all styles? Why does it have to be one style?
We're in that era. And I also think if you talk to anyone who's like in fashion, they would say the same thing. Like, just wear what looks good on you. Don't follow trends.
And what are we doing? What are we wearing? Barrel jeans? Is that a fad trend? That's got to be.
Barrel jeans.
Yeah. I mean, are we doing
look
that?
on your face when you just said barrel jeans. I wish the listener could see your face.
Eventually we'll get to recording, but video recording, but
barrel jeans are just the really baggy, like the Jinkos kind of.
No, barrel jeans are those like, they're very specific style. Didn't you try them on at Abercrombie? Remember when you were like...
but see, this is what's unfortunate about my build is like most baggy jeans look like barrel jeans on me. Because my legs are I have thin legs and then my waist is like bigger than wider than my legs. And so everything, and I'm short. So everything that's baggy is accentuated.
Well, it's a very specific style that I've never seen until 2024. If they were ever a thing, I wasn't aware of it.
Again, it works on like a specific body.
Does it though?
I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know if this particular style is doing anything for anyone. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Probably Billie Eilish can look cool in them.
Well, but she's just one of those people that can
like cool and everything.
That can wear something totally ridiculous and absurd, and you're like, you look fucking cool, and I would look so ridiculous.
Style.
Yeah. Oh well. Okay, moving on.
I thought I would share my huge embarrassing failure of the week.
We love an embarrassing story. What are you talking about?
Oh my God, this was one of those moments where I really was like, okay, this is embarrassing, but I wish I had it on camera. Okay, so I was taking about 4 pretty good sized boxes to FedEx to ship for work. 2 were open and not taped because I ran out of packing tape. And I was like, okay.
As one does.
Yeah, I will tape these up when I get there. And they had like loose promotional materials like pens, hand sanitizers, shit like that. So they're all in my trunk. I get to FedEx. I park. I go inside. I get the cart because they have these carts and I had enough boxes. So I bring the cart out and I park it behind my car, and I turn and open the hatchback. And then I turn, once I get my hatchback open, I turn, and there's a car coming up, and the car has started to roll away. And it's like in front of this car coming. And I was like, oh, shit. So I kind of like run. I grab the cart, and I'm like, oh, sorry. And the guy's kind of like, like, oh, funny. I'm like, okay, I got it. So I pull it back. I like readjust it. I'm like, great, it's not going to roll. Adjusted the wheels. And I turned back. I grabbed these boxes and I put the boxes on the cart. And I'm like, sweet, golden. There's boxes on it. It's definitely not going anywhere now. I turn around to get the other boxes. And by the time I turn around, the car has started to roll again. And I was like, oh, no. And I think I said those words out loud. And I went to run after it, fell, landed on my knee, grabbed the cart, the boxes, fell off, pens everywhere, hand sanitizers spilled. And I was like, oh, my God. So I had to, like, scoop all this shit up, bring the cart back behind my car. And then it just, like, kept rolling. And at this point I was just like the dad in Christmas Story, just like I had to like pull it to the side of my car and like put my foot behind it. It just wouldn't stop rolling away. I finally manage all these boxes and I get it into the store, and there's like 4 men in the store, and they're all just
were all watching.
Yeah, watching the whole thing. And I was just like,
hey guys.
Like, hey. Struggle busted it a little today. He was like, let me help you. The guy came over and I was like, these aren't taped. He was like, I will tape them for you. I was like, thank you. The other guy was laughing. I was like, yeah, I see you. The guy in the car who like pulled up on me.
Of course.
There. I was like, yeah.
Thanks for the help. Thanks for all the help you offered.
Oh God. It was so fucking embarrassing. I was just like, okay.
And I'm going to guess that you didn't have like a ton of extra time.
No,
these things never happen. They always happen when you're like in a hurry and just like
it was the end of the day,
rushing around.
And I was like done. You know, it had been a day already, and I was like, I just gotta drop these boxes off, and then the day's over. And then it was like, of course, this is just like the icing on the cake. But after that, I was like, man, it would be really funny to watch that whole scenario.
Oh, I'm sure there's CCTV footage somewhere. Yeah,
I bet
the FedEx guys are probably in the back watching it right now as we speak. Like, look at this bitch.
But I do shout out to the FedEx guy who works there. He is the best. He's always so nice. He's always so well groomed. He's every day.
I mean, that's not a quality everybody has.
Yeah, he looks exactly the same every single time, and I go there a lot. Every single time I see him, I'm just like, man. He's got the hair that's like poofed and like perfectly set, and he's always nice and always friendly, and I'm just like, man, how do you do it?
Yeah,
you just have like, what's your routine? Like, you can tell this person just has a healthy routine,
right?
You know,
there's not enough credit for just being well groomed and polished all the time.
I know, because it really is. It's nice.
It is nice, and I do think there are people who naturally are more, I don't know, dispositioned to look polished and put together. Yeah. I had my friend that lives in Baltimore. I love her dearly, and we worked at the bank together, and she always was just like so put together and polished all the time, and just like, yeah. And I would just be like, man, she just looks so like put together, and like, and here I am over here, fucking Scragglepuss.
And it seems effortless.
Yes, when you see that was what it is. I was
like, yeah. It doesn't feel like you spend hours doing this.
Right.
We're like,
but they probably do.
Yeah,
yeah.
But that also probably like makes them happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always feel like I'm such a hot mess.
I feel like even when I try, there are just like certain things where it's like my hair is the bane of my existence.
Oh, me too.
It's so
my hair always looks a ragamuffin.
I know, me too. Mine is so fine and like just limp and shapeless that like it doesn't matter what I do. I'm like, and especially when I worked at the bank and I had this professional who's like, I just want to look put together and professional. Yeah. And even when I would put all the effort in, I'd be like, okay, yeah, that looks pretty good. And then immediately I would get to work and it would be totally flat, or like one just like be sticking out I'm like, what? Why?
Yeah. And I have this weird thing where like when I do spend the time to look really put together, then I start to get insecure and I'm like, you look way too put together. Like, you look like you're trying so hard.
Try hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you normally look like shit. What are you doing?
And we've talked about this before, and, this episode will release eventually, but, like, the sad part and the freeing part is that not one single fucking person cares. Nobody is looking at you like, even though here we're talking about other people looking so put together, it's like most of the time, not one single person cares or is looking at you or gives a shit. And you're the one that's like.
And I only noticed it about this FedEx guy when I was thinking about how much I like him, how nice he is, and how wonderful he is every time. And then I was like, and he always looks great, too.
I mean, should you ask the FedEx guy out on a date?
Well, I don't want to assume his sexuality, but I don't believe he is a straight man.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, but that's fine.
The nicely groomed ones sometimes
usually
are not.
Sometimes are. I also, just side note, I got my groceries delivered for the first time yesterday.
Okay.
Wow, what a life-changing event. I feel a little bad for talking so much shit about
the third. Yes.
About the grocery cart people in the Kroger's taking up all the space in the aisles.
Did that episode air?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like I've complained about Kroger. I feel like I've complained about said grocery stores.
Yes.
A lot. And most of it, a lot of times I think it comes from the fact that like these huge carts are in the lanes.
Yes.
But now I get it.
The click list carts.
Because it is so.
We're calling you out by name, click list.
It is so convenient. My gosh.
Yeah, it's nice.
I loved every second of it. And I used to have this hang up about like, oh, well, everybody's all about convenience now and you should be going and doing your own things. Man, one taste
and she's sold. She's gone to the dark side.
Never go to the grocery store
never
for
again.
more than 3 items ever again.
I have a couple of friends that are like, you go to the grocery store? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, why? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just that bitch. I'm that bitch.
I do enjoy going to the grocery store sometimes, but now that I've experienced it, I could see like, oh, this will be great. I don't have to do it all the time.
Yeah, I'm that bitch in 2 ways. One way is that, yeah, I do enjoy it. I know that's weird. The second way is that I'm just a control freak and like I don't want people picking my shit. Yeah, I just don't.
One thing, especially produce.
Yeah.
It could get really tricky. And they do this thing too if like they're out of something. They just make their own choice.
And now you can go in and select specific replacements. You know that, right?
Oh no.
I'll show you how to do it. I know how to customize the entire thing. But and we can get into this on a later episode, but I drove for Instacart for a little while.
Yeah, that's right. You know.
We'll talk about that in another episode, but I will say that I have used it. I used it a little bit during the pandemic, and I have used it for things like when my kids are sick and I'm like, I need medicine, I need orange juice, I need things that I don't care about like picking, where I'm like, I need this, this, and this. It's not produce, it's not meat, whatever. And, I have like 7 or 8 things delivered because I need this now because my child is sick or I'm sick or whatever it is. And it's nice for sure. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah. And I get that it is a luxury. And I don't plan on doing it all the time, but I think having the option sometimes.
It is, yeah. Nice. And let's just also point out that Hollis lives 32 seconds from the grocery store.
Well, I normally walk to the grocery store.
Yeah. Like, you can walk there in 32 seconds.
Yeah.
And I literally.
Yeah.
It's in her backyard.
Also because the parking lot at a grocery store is the worst part of the parking lot.
It would almost take you longer to drive there and try to park than to walk there.
Does.
Yeah.
That's why I walk, because it's just like, it's just stupid.
Yeah.
Unless I have to do like a lot of grocery shopping, but I don't usually.
Okay. Should we move into our meat and potatoes?
All right. Start us off with a little intro.
Okay. So for our meat and potatoes this time, we're doing something a little fun.
Look out, people.
Look out. We're about to
get real fun.
Gonna get crazy. Okay. So what we're doing is we are choosing and talking about, well, we've already chosen them, but we are talking about 3 people that we would want to have on our apocalypse team. And the way we sort of set the scene for this is that it's not so much like, it's not the zombie apocalypse. Like there's not like an imminent threat other than probably just other people, you know? It's basically like the apocalypse has happened in the sense that everything as you know it has collapsed. There's no government. There's no law. There's no technology. There's no power. There's no running water probably. I mean, everything has collapsed. I see it more as what was that movie with Julia Roberts where everything goes haywire, but there's no zombies or anything?
What? Julia Roberts?
Julia Roberts, yes. It was, God, what was it called? Okay, let me just...
I feel like it was controversial.
You guys probably know what we're talking about. Julia Roberts' End of the World movie.
I think it's called something like The End of the World.
Yeah, This Is the End, or...
Yeah.
Yeah, what was it called? Leave the World Behind. So, more along that trajectory as opposed to, like, there's aliens or zombies. So... It's basically who we would want on our team. You got to survive in the elements, okay? And everything as you know it pretty much is non-existent.
Yeah.
That's how we are setting the scene for this.
Cool. I forgot we were just picking 3. That's okay.
Okay, pick your top 3.
Got it.
We're picking 3 people. Hollis picked more, but I'm going to make her narrow it down. And the way we decided is that everyone you know and love... your family is already with you. Because, like, obviously I would pick my children and my husband. Yeah. So that's assumed. If I had to, that's assumed. And we decided it had to be people who are famous or notable in a way that you've probably heard of them. It could be obscure, but obviously it's not fun unless you probably know who they are. And they have to be alive. Because initially we thought maybe we could do, like, dead or alive. But no, they got to be alive. Okay, so I'll start.
Okay.
While you're narrowing it down. Okay, so I'm just going to like give a little bit of my strategy before I say my first person. I decided I was going to avoid the super low-hanging fruit. So like, of course, like you could pick like Jeff Bezos, okay, who supposedly has like an island that he's going to go to kind of thing. I tried to avoid those people just because I'm assuming in this apocalypse that your island is fucked, Jeff. Everything's fucked, okay? So, like, you're going to have to survive in the elements the same way the rest of us are. So that's how I chose my team. So, numero uno for me, Martha fucking Stewart.
Oh, okay. And was not expecting that.
Here's why. I don't know if you watched her documentary.
I did.
It was great. I feel like, first of all, this bitch can grow anything. She's going to grow all the crops. She can plant a tree. She can literally make anything from scratch. Like, she could probably grow a wheat stalk, grind it into flour, and make the bread, right? She could probably make clothes.
She could build you a rickshaw.
She could build me a rickshaw. She has had to reinvent herself so many times and like adapt to her environment and like always comes out on top. I feel like she has cockroach energy. Like the entire world could be eviscerated and Martha Stewart is going to rise from the ashes, right? I also feel like if you watch the documentary, like she's concerned about what people are doing and not about how they're feeling.
Amen. Yeah.
And I feel like that could be important in the apocalypse. Like
100.
We got to zip it up and like really, you know. I also feel like she would just be like a good time and fun to hang out with and be a little bit of comic relief.
Yeah, she's a sassy broad. Man, I'm pretty envious of that pick. That's a really good pick.
So that's my numero uno. I'm going to pass it over to you.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with my very lame first pick out of my 3, which I feel like might be a little on the nose, might be a little obvious, but I went with Dave Canterbury, who's like this survivalist guy.
Okay.
Because for obvious choices.
Is he Survivor Man? He's
not Survivor Man, but he's very similar.
Okay.
He's kind of like from what I read, who Survivor Man kind of like based his personality off of. He's like this, I don't know, in the survivalist community.
Yes.
He's like a well-known. And then I was looking them up. He looked like the most hardcore of them all. So I trust that, like, he can survive some shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my first choice. Kind of, like,
that's okay.
Obvious, but
I mean,
But I feel like you gotta have them.
Well, to piggyback off of your first choice, we'll go into my second choice. I was going to save him for last, but since you did your on-the-nose person, I'm going to do my on-the-nose person.
All right.
Jim Shockey.
I don't know who that is.
Okay, so he's basically the Canadian David Canterbury. Okay, he is a Canadian professional outdoorsman, essentially. He owns like a big game hunting outfit. He's an accomplished bow hunter and wilderness guide. And a bitch has got to eat, right?
Yeah, bow hunter is good.
Yeah. And I felt like that was important because, like, who knows where the guns and ammunition are? You know, I mean, we're not Rick Grimes. We don't know. We can't go to the police station and raid it. So I'm like, that's probably going to be an important skill. He's also, and he's led hunts across 6 continents and 50 countries. So he's familiar with all the landscapes. He's also a conservationalist and very big on like ethical hunting. So he doesn't hunt like endangered species. It's mostly just like, you know, deer, elk, moose, like that kind of thing. So I liked that he was like not super controversial, but definitely can feed us. That was important.
Yeah, that is very important.
That's my on the nose guy.
Yeah, I was hoping that David Canterbury could, be the hunter gatherer.
Yes.
of the squad.
We need that. And, you know, Martha can gather.
Yeah.
Jim's going to hunt.
Yeah.
Jim's going to hunt for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, my next one, I don't want this to sound political. Okay, this choice.
Okay. I think we can take politics out of this.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Cool. Great.
Because I almost picked Ted Nugent, and then I forgot that he, like, was with underage girls. And then I was yeah, maybe not the best. Yeah. So, well, but we can take politics out for sure.
Yeah. So my next pick is Dr. Fauci.
Okay.
Because I feel like there needed to be someone with medical experience.
That's a good one.
The squad.
I overlooked that.
Yeah, and you know, at first when I forgot that we were doing just 3, I was like Dr. Fauci because he will also bring a team of physicians with him.
Yeah.
Because I know he's more of like a research physician.
Right. Maybe not like super practical in the field.
Yeah, exactly. So, but he's also, you know, a organizer.
Yes.
Is, you know, the national medical person. So, so that was my second pick. Somebody who could attend to our medical needs.
That's a good one. I overlooked that. So if somebody gets hurt on my team, we might be fucked.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he could do a splint and, you know.
You know, Jim Shockey he's a wilderness guide. He's got some first aid experience, I'm sure of it. Yeah. I don't know if it goes beyond that, but he might be able to throw together a splint. Yeah, for sure. Okay,
pick number 3.
Okay. My third and final. Have you narrowed yours down to? Okay, my third and final. Michelle Rodriguez.
The actress?
Yes.
Oh.
Let me tell you, the way this bitch is a badass in the movies, that is her in real life. Okay? She is just the complete badass. These are her hobbies: tactical gun training, skydiving, and DJing.
In real life?
In real life.
DJ too, yeah.
She trained with the Marine Corps to be some kind of like civilian. There was some sort of civilian program. I can't remember what it was called. But so she's trained with the Marine Corps, which I'm sure came with like all kinds of like useful skills for the apocalypse. She also has 10 siblings, which I feel like.
Whoa, yeah.
So she has some experience navigating like a large, complex like family situation, which I feel like could come into handy. And she grew up in Puerto Rico and the U.S., and so she speaks Spanish, which, you know, being bilingual, it's the second
never a bad
most
thing.
Spoken language in the country. I feel like that could come in handy as well.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. A good choice.
So that's my team. Martha Stewart, Jim Shockey, Michelle Rodriguez. And we're going to be out there just like kicking ass and taking names.
I mean, I'm all for it.
I mean, if we get hurt, we're fucked, but, you know, that's all right.
Just don't get hurt. Yeah. Okay, this is going to be hard. I think my last one I'm going to choose is Josef Dikic.
Okay.
Which I don't think I pronounced that right, but he is the Turkish sharpsman from the Olympics this year.
Oh my God. The glasses guy? Yes.
The dude who just like put his hand in his pocket. And was
That's
like,
a power pick right there. I like it.
Because I feel like he's just going to, be able to protect us from anything with a one single gun.
The dog has the remote. I'm dying. hilarious. The remote in her mouth like a bone.
Oh my God. Bad Suki. Yeah, I feel like he could, protect us as a sharpsman.
Yes.
Obviously. A sharpshooter. Is it sharpsman? Did I make that up? Or is it
I mean, sharpshooter I've definitely heard.
Sharpsman?
I don't know about sharpsman.
Okay, well, it's a new term we're using for him.
But there's something that ends in man. What is it? For shooting. A marksman.
Marksman. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just
I think marksman is more of a like older like European term.
Yeah.
Marksman.
But yeah, I also
Which one of you
feel
is a
like-
marksman at 10? That's from Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. I said, oh, okay. Like I knew what you were talking about, but
It was niche.
I also just feel like that guy is probably a serious badass, and just in like all realms.
And he was just, I feel like he's funny.
Funny and cool as fuck.
Yeah.
It would just be like a good hang.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like he'd be the type of person, like if you came up in another pack of people and you needed to intimidate or handle shit, he could just walk up there and be like,
That's what I have Michelle
and
for.
he could
Yeah.
handle situations.
Yeah.
Without even getting to the gun part.
Yeah.
And then if he had to, he could just like take everybody out real quick. So, yeah.
That's a power move. I like it. Yeah. I think those are some pretty good teams.
Right, and our teams combined.
Yeah, we're combining forces here. And I want to go ahead and just put a couple of honorable mentions out there. An honorable mention for me was Snoop Dogg. Mostly because of his just like hilarious friendship with Martha Stewart. Just thought that could be fun.
Really needs to be a package deal.
Yeah, I thought it could be like a package deal. My other honorable mention, strangely enough, is Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh, okay.
I guess she's like kind of a doomsdayer, which I didn't know.
She's probably got a lot of canned goods ready for.
She just had some very like smart and eloquent things to say about being prepared. And that was really all I got from it. So I felt like I couldn't pick her based on just that.
Yeah, but honorable mention.
Honorable mention, yeah.
My honorable mention, my first one, I almost wanted to put him in my top 3, was Conan O'Brien.
Oh my God. I thought about Conan O'Brien too. And then I thought, I bet Hoss is going to pick Conan O'Brien.
No fucking way.
Yes. But then after I like read up on it, because I'm like, I only know so much about him, that I was like, I really don't think he would do well. He's like a tried and true, like, prep boy. Like,
he's not on the team for anything but.
Other than being hilarious.
Other than I think he's.
Because I know you love him and his sense of humor.
I think he's the most hilarious person on the planet. And he would just be, what the levity you need in this situation.
Yes. And I thought about choosing just strictly a comedian for that reason. And he was one of the ones that it was really between him and David Cross.
Oh, yeah.
They were like kind of the two I was considering. And then I was like, all right.
David Cross can kind of be a bummer, though.
Yeah. And yeah. And originally, that's when I was also thinking about doing Ted Nugent instead of Jim Shockey. And I was like, I need somebody to keep Ted in check. And David Cross will do that 100%.
Oh, yeah. They balance each other out really well.
Yeah. And I almost picked the Nuge because he had that survival show. But I forgot about all the underage girl shit.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't really care about politics at this point. I don't think we have similar politics.
Yeah, politics are gone at this
point. Politics are out the window, so it doesn't matter. But then I was like, I forgot about the rapiness. Yeah, that's a big problem. We can't have that.
We can't have that, especially when there's no
That's why
law.
He's not even getting an honorable mention. He was just pushed out. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a whole team of stand-ups where I was like, well, if I can bring anybody I want.
I know.
I want all of these people. And my other honorable mention was Bill, which is not a real person. It's Nick Offerman's character from that episode of The Last of Us.
Yeah. I know. Yes, for sure.
Perfect.
And that was part of my strategy of not choosing like super low hanging fruit, and we decided obviously we were going to do real people and not characters. But yeah, because obviously, there are some people that are really out there about like Kim Kardashian. She's got a bunker. Different people that like have bunkers and like islands. Like I tried to stay away from all those people.
I know the bunker concept didn't even come to mind for me, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, that was kind of the first thing I thought of. And then it was like, I feel like that's low hanging fruit. I don't want to like go that route. I want people who, because I'm looking at this as like, your bunker's not safe either.
Right.
You know what I mean? No one's safe. Like, you gotta
that's why I thought Bill was a good idea, because he knows how to build a bunker.
Yeah. Yes.
I wasn't picking Bill because of his bunker. I was picking him for the skills he has
Yes, to do it.
to
Right.
develop that bunker. Because Kim Kardashian was just like, somebody build me a bunker.
There's no skills. Because, like, Bill's shooting a gun and probably a bow as well.
That was fun. Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed.
I did. That was fun.
I was talking about the listener, but.
Oh. Well, I enjoyed too.
We enjoyed. It was
Thanks
fun.
for the assignment.
Okay. Are we ready to move into our Bravo breakdown? Which
Yeah.
this is the first episode that we're doing this segment. This has always been intended to be a segment on this podcast when we have stuff to talk about. So yeah, I'm excited because we haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of new haps.
Oh,
Mostly
yeah.
just like the new housewives.
Yeah, so we're going to first let's talk about what we think of the new housewives for Salt Lake, New York, and OC. So let's start with Salt Lake. Bronwyn and Brittany. And Brittany, I think, is just a friend. She's not a full cast member because she doesn't have a tagline. Yeah. That's how you know.
I love Bronwyn. I think Bronwyn will stick around.
I think Bronwyn understood the assignment.
100%. I think she is to a T a housewife.
Yes.
She's fucking confident. She brings it. She is not afraid to speak her mind.
Right.
She brought a storyline, but it wasn't like, oh, I'm desperate and I'm making shit up.
It wasn't like a Jen Fessler situation.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, she understood the assignment. She's here to stay, I think.
And she's interesting.
She's interesting. I'm obsessed with the fact that she dresses up in costumes to pick him up from the airport. That was the funniest segment I've seen for a while.
I'm obsessed that she has 6 dogs that look exactly the same.
That shit all over the floor.
6 boxers?
That's insane.
Insane.
Yeah.
That's madness. In that house where you have like priceless
art, like literal art installations.
I know, but I also respect that she's not like I buy art and I wear fancy clothes and everything's pristine. I also love that about her, that she's like,
a little messy.
I love art, but it's also like this is my
here.
life that I live. It's not like I live in a museum.
It's real. It's not a facade. Yeah. I like her
cool.
too.
I also love that she doesn't have perfect teeth. That she's beautiful, obviously, but she's not like, I don't know. I think she's a little atypical for a housewife.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah,
she's refreshing.
Yeah. I do have to say, probably the most awkward like little anniversary speech I've ever seen. That was a little uncomfortable.
When they were at the table?
Yes.
Yeah, it was definitely...
The way she interacts with her husband is
odd.
Is definitely not like typical of...
Well, I thought their relationship seemed pretty normal until that, and I was like, oh, huh.
Well, it's almost like, does he know what's going on? Does he know she's a housewife? Because he was very much like, I don't want any drama. I don't want any of this.
Well,
I'm not doing any of this.
I feel like you can definitely tell that he was like, I don't want to do this, but I will do it because you want to. I mean, and I wonder, very much had conditions like, we'll do this, but I'm not going to be part of any of the drama.
Right.
And he doesn't realize that is not a contingency you can have.
You've signed up for this.
If you're in it, you're in it.
But then I also wonder, is that just like a front and he secretly is like so into it? You know what I mean? Because I almost feel like you do know what you're signing up for, because even if you're somebody who has like not watched the shows, I feel like when you're signing these contracts and stuff, like you're probably going to watch something. You're probably going to do a little bit of research, even as the husband. And so I almost wonder if he's one of those guys that like is putting on this front of like, oh, no drama and this and that, but he secretly like thrives on it and is like ready to get into the nitty gritty of it. I don't know.
I don't get that impression from him, but I think he is a rich, powerful man who thought he could really go into something and sway it. Because he's been able to do that in every other situation in his life, and he doesn't realize that like no one cares that you have a bunch of tech money.
Right.
This is a TV show.
But the reason I think I say this is because he was very much like, you and your wife have to leave if she can't. I mean, that was like a very divisive like move of him to be like, I'm kicking you out if you don't. I don't think, to me, it was very much like, let's bring some shit to the surface. Let's start some shit. Not like he actually thought these people are just going to leave. Like, they're filming. They're not just going to leave. Like, I felt like that was kind of, let's bring some explosiveness to this.
Oh, yeah, I didn't get that.
I don't know.
I got that he just thought, like, yeah, that he could.
He really thought they would just leave?
Yeah, or that, like, I'm going to be the one guy different out of all the people in the Real Housewives world that, like, I don't put up with that kind of stuff. Like,
I don't know. I can't decide if I think it's that or if I think he's just, like, really, really sneaky.
Yeah, well, he could.
I don't know.
Who knows?
We'll
Time
see.
will tell.
But yeah, that speech.
Yeah, it was odd.
It was a little odd, a little uncomfortable. Brittany, what do we think about Brittany? I don't know.
Brittany's a sad tale. I think they brought her on because she had a connection to the Osmonds, and it's like a storyline that with like a name.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was. I don't know. It's kind of sad. I feel like her storyline's sad.
It is sad.
Like, I have no like ill feelings towards her, but it's just like, oh man. But I also think it's kind of a look into like that world of Mormonism a little bit.
Yeah,
it's
and I mean
like,
that's been a very like
and
common thread in this franchise, obviously, because it's Salt Lake. A lot of them are Mormon or Reformed Mormons, if that's the term you want to use. I do think it's, they've talked a lot about how part of what you do in that particular sector or whatever is, as a woman, is always putting the relationship first and like finding a man, and because that's the way into the church and the way to God and all that. I do find it very sad that she has no relationship with her children, maybe because of that.
Yeah, I wonder if more of that storyline is going to
I'll be interested to see it as that sort of unfolds. That was also something that I really liked about Bronwyn, was that she definitely like brought it and was like not afraid to like get her hands dirty and like get into the mix with the kind of the cattiness and the arguments, but she was also like very open and vulnerable with her situation with her daughter and the father's family and all that.
I felt like she was being very sincere about it too.
Absolutely.
It did not feel like put on or
and it didn't feel like something she was doing for a storyline or doing for attention. Like it felt very genuine. So I liked that. Yeah,
I don't dislike Brittany. I mean,
we'll see.
I think it's
time will tell with her.
It's been like watching her story has been kind of interesting because I feel like also a lot of women can relate to her at some point in their lives
with the situationship with the guy for sure. Yeah.
So, and it's interesting to see how the other women react to her.
Yeah. All right, let's move into New York. Right now, they're getting a lot of hate about how bad this season is.
Really?
Yeah. And
Do you think it's bad? I've been enjoying it.
I've been enjoying it. I will say I think Rebecca's a total snooze fest. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
She's not bringing anything to the table because the most interesting thing about her is that she's both Jewish and a Scientologist, and she's not leaning into like that.
Either of them. Yeah, she won't talk about the Scientology thing.
Yeah.
Which is what everyone wants to hear about.
Inquiring minds want to know. All right, and here's the thing. You can't come on the show and say, I'm Jewish by religion, because she said that.
Yeah.
But I'm also a Scientologist spiritually.
I'm sorry. Expand.
Yeah, you got to expand.
Yeah.
So if she expands on that, I'm here for it. Otherwise, she's a total snooze fest. I love with every bone in my body, Raquel. I love her.
She's a badass.
She's a wonderful addition to the show. Yeah. I love her. I love how vulnerable she's been about her background and her story with her dad and all of that. I love it. I love her.
Same.
I love
Agreed.
the fiance. I love the whole thing. I'm in like Flynn 100% with her. I can't wait to see like how everything unfolds. I will say I am enjoying this season. I think something that people need to remember is that this was a total reboot. There's no veterans. So they're all still like learning how to be on camera, right? I will say, I do think I like the fact that here we have a lot of like successful, diverse, a little more like wholesome kind of like role model type people for the show. I like that. I do feel like there's like a tiny bit of like messy, problematic missing from the cast.
Yeah.
When you have the Housewives franchises kind of thrive on messy and problematic, right?
Yeah, that's the whole conflict. That's the whole name of the game.
Yes.
Like,
and I feel like it would be helpful to just like throw one really diabolical kind of problematic person into the mix. And I feel like we just don't really have that right now.
Well, that's what I thought Brynn was going to be.
Yeah, she's a pot stirrer, but she's not so much problematic, I guess. Yeah. And I think too, there are certain, like Jenna Lyons not talking about the fiance, like they got to start talking about shit. That's the problem too.
Yeah. Also, yeah, I know. I take problem with that too, where it's like, oh, relationships are off the table.
No, they're not.
That's the whole point of the show.
The only thing I'm fine with keeping off the table is children. Yeah. I do think the minor children should be kept off the table.
On the show, which makes zero sense to me.
Right. But your relationships, that's fair game.
Yeah.
That's
you
what gotta
people really want to know about. Anyways,
So I think there's two things happening here. Three things. I think the first thing is that this is their sophomore season, all of them. There's no veterans. They're still learning how to navigate the cameras. They're still learning how to be on TV. Number two is that they're not sharing enough about the things they should be. Like Rebecca Zatolstu says she should be talking about Scientology and being Jewish.
Yeah.
Jenna Lyons should be talking about her fiance. And number three is they're a little too normal.
Yeah.
They're a little too normal.
I know. And that's the thing is I like all of the women. And I was really pissed at the last episode because I texted you when I was watching.
Yeah, the whole
and I was like, oh man, finally, this is getting good. I was like, this is going to be the best episode yet.
Yeah.
And then at the end, it was a joke. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, this is not what the show is supposed to be.
And I started to pick up on it like about halfway through because I had seen Erin's pregnancy announcement before I watched the episode. So about halfway through, I was like, wait a minute. I could just tell by the way Rebecca was kind of acting too with like, oh, I'm like sick with food poisoning. But like, and I was like, wait, what's going on here? And then I was like, oh my God. I was like, this is a ruse because
it was too obvious.
It was too obvious. I don't know if I would have picked up on it until the very end had I not seen Erin's pregnancy announcement, but I saw it because they waited for the episode to air and I saw that first and then I was like, oh, okay, it's Erin's that's pregnant, not Rebecca. So this is like spoiler alert. Sorry, we'll put that in the description that there's a spoiler. But yeah, and it's almost like that was so produced. Like they needed that to like,
and that's pretty sad.
Spice it up a little bit.
And it's like they already did it. They already did the whole cockroach gag like.
Yeah.
Quit repeating stuff. Yeah, and that sucks because I like the cast a lot.
I do too. So I think it remains to be seen. We'll see what happens for the rest of this season.
Also, can we talk about Pavit and...
Pavit, they're the best.
Okay, but I liked Pavit a lot up until that conversation they had at dinner.
Yeah.
This last episode, and I was like, oh no, Pavit. You can't be doing that. You can't not hear her.
Yeah.
It felt very dismissive. I saw him in a light that I had not seen before where it was like, okay, maybe he doesn't want to have kids, but I did not like that scene.
Yeah, and I will
feel
say...
bad for her. I felt like and it made me wonder like, oh, is she just being shut down completely? That he doesn't want to have kids. That's something that's fine, but I did not like the way that conversation went. I felt
he
bad
was
for
dismissive,
her.
And I will say, I think Jessel is my favorite cast member. I like her and Raquel, I think, the most. I think Jessel is, because she is talking about real issues. Yeah. And this is the thing. If we're going to have these women that are a little more dynamic, that are less problematic, then they're going to have to talk about the real issues that real women face. Not that other housewives aren't real women. I don't mean that. But when you have these super privileged women who are rich and all this stuff, like, if they're not going to be problematic, they need to be super relatable. And I feel like Jessel has been so relatable with all of her issues with infertility and having the kids, and her and Pavitt, having that super long period of time where they didn't have sex, and like kind of normalizing that, and like just all these things that I think real everyday women can relate to. And I love that about her. And I do think that particular conversation, yes, I didn't like the way it went either. But I will say, having had a similar conversation in, my own marriage, it is one of the more difficult things, I think, to navigate, because both perspectives are so valid.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's really, really hard to say, like, who is right in that instance, because you both are. If he really truly feels, especially because they're twins, right? And that's hard. I'm sure twins is like that. You might have a little PTSD from that. I can understand. They're both so valid. If he's truly done and doesn't want to have any more, and she really, really, really does, that's a difficult thing to navigate.
100%. Yeah. And that's why previously I had always been like, I completely understand where he's coming from. You don't have to want more kids.
Right.
And you are completely valid in saying, like, I'm done having kids. But what you can't do is not listen to her and dismiss her and ignore her when she's talking to you.
Yes.
But I also understand.
But we also don't know.
I know.
Yeah, what conversations they've had previous.
But I can only base my judgment on what I see
on what you saw. I agree.
And I'm sure if I was to talk to Pavitt in person, he would say, hey, you have no idea what it's like to be on camera at dinner.
Yeah.
And your wife is talking to you about, do you want to have another baby? And you're trying to eat
He's
dinner.
trying to eat his...
Like, of course.
Dim sum.
But...
Sim-dum. Dim sum. Whatever it is. Carol's. Is that what it was called? Or you was saying...
Dim sum.
Yeah, but what was it? It was Carol's, right? That one where they sat outside, and he was so saying, this is Carol's. And she was like, okay, Carol's.
Yeah. And like, I get it. I do. But it's also like, I can't judge anything but what I see.
Right. I know.
So I was like, oh man.
No, I 100% agree. I didn't like the way that conversation went either. But just having experienced conversations about that in my own marriage, it made me wonder, like, I wonder how many conversations they've had leading up to this.
Yeah, where he's expressed his feelings.
Right.
And she has been like, I'm just going to keep pressing it.
Right. And who knows?
Yeah.
I do think at the end of the day, and this is just my personal opinion, and I'm not saying it means that somebody needs to give in to somebody. I don't want it to come across like that. I do think the person who really wants another child will regret not having that child more than the person who doesn't want them will regret having it if they do.
But does that mean the person...
But that doesn't... That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But I don't think that means that person automatically has to...
acquiesce.
Yes. And so I do think it's just a very, very difficult situation to navigate.
I know, and I wonder, like, can a relationship
survive that? Yeah.
I know.
I think a lot of them do break up because of that, because somebody wants to expand the family, and, it can be really, really, really hard to live, I think, with the heartbreak of knowing that you're not, or
the wonder and longing, and
and I don't know, I don't know. It's a tough one. Okay. Shall we move on to OC? Yeah. What do we think of Katie?
Oh, I liked Katie at first. I was like, oh, I like her attitude. But then, I don't know, I've kind of like flip-flopped with her.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to take her, because I feel like at first I thought the stuff with her and what's-her-face was kind of
Heather.
Like, oh, Heather. And then some other things happened, and I was like, oh, maybe she is kind of shady. And then I feel like it's like every episode I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And then the reunion was very weird.
The reunion was so weird, all that stuff coming up.
Yeah, and I didn't think that was fair for them to
dig up that stuff.
Shit.
Yeah.
I did not like that at all. Also, it was just like hypocritical, because that's literally what Heather had complained about, like her said.
Digging. Yeah. It's very strange. I will say, I listened to that podcast, The Bravo Docket. Shout out if if you guys are Bravo fans and you have any interest in the law whatsoever, I highly recommend the Bravo Docket. It's a great podcast where they break down like all the legal goings-ons of the Bravoverse, and it's really interesting. It's kind of niche, but it's really interesting. They made a post, and they just dug up like the documents and things that they could, because there was a lot of back and forth about like what really went down. And just from what they released on their Instagram, it sounds like basically the story kind of falls in the middle. It does seem like he was definitely like videotaping her. And it does seem like she did follow him home then. But that then it was basically just kind of like he said, she said, and like it never really went anywhere. Yeah. They did say that it did happen, and it is possible, like, because they were saying, oh, it's not possible that your husband could be served. They said yes, in that situation, yes, they could have served her husband with the papers, and she didn't. She missed the court date because of that. That all of that is valid. Yeah. Valid. So, yeah, I mean, that was a weird thing. What was the other thing that got brought up from the past that was weird? There was something else.
I don't remember.
I can't remember. I feel like there were two things that got brought up from the past that were weird.
Oh, the thing with her daughter.
Yeah, there was that. But there was another thing. Yeah, I can't remember what it was now. But yeah, the thing with the daughter, I don't love that. I
also didn't love her. Not that I didn't like it. I just thought it was I thought her response to the accusations about her daughter and the upset with her daughter was very unhousewife-like. Because normally... Not that she didn't defend her daughter, but she was just like, yeah, she made a mistake. She fucked up. Now I'm paying the consequences. But normally people are like,
don't talk about my daughter. Blah, blah, yeah.
Blah. I think in this case... I don't dislike it. I just found it interesting.
Yeah. I think
that it was not typical.
Yeah. I think in this case, maybe because the daughter is an adult, it was a little different. Yeah. I don't know necessarily what I believe about that, because... It seems unlikely that the daughter would just lie about that. But I also understand Emily's point where it also seems unlikely that her sons would just like start talking about Heather.
Yeah, but I also feel like Andy said at the reunion, like, you don't talk about things in front of your kids ever, especially if your child is an adult. Like, you come home and you talk about your day. And sometimes there's certain things you say and there's certain things you don't. Yeah. But at a certain
Emily's
time
kids aren't
age,
adults, so.
I know that. I'm
talking about Emily's kids.
Yeah, I get that. I'm saying with Katie, I'm sure she talks to her daughter in a much more candid way.
No. Yeah, I'm totally sure that Katie is aware of her mom's opinion of Heather. Yeah. 100%. I just meant, I find it strange that Katie would like lie about how it went down.
Yeah.
You know, it seems unlikely to me that she would lie about that for whatever reason, but it also seems unlikely that even if Emily at some point had said something about, I mean, kids pick up on stuff, but at the same time, I feel like it would be unlikely for her sons to just randomly start talking about it to the daughter unless she was like leading them in some way.
Yeah.
I could see that where she's like, so what do you guys think about Heather, your mom's friend Heather? I could see that.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know.
Then they would probably be like, yeah, we've heard my mom say this and that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't imagine two boys just being like, hey, guess who's a bitch? Heather.
Yeah, no, exactly. So who knows? Let's get to our grapes and gripes.
Cool. I'll go first.
Okay.
So my gripe is going to Sunset Truthers.
I'm sorry, wait, what?
Sunset Truthers are people when you are looking at a beautiful sunset.
Oh my God, the pollution people.
Like, you're like, look at that beautiful sunset.
Outta here.
And they're like, yeah, you know, it's just because of pollution, right? And you're like, could I?
Don't steal my joy.
Could I just appreciate the majesty for a moment before you shit all over it?
I fucking hate joy stealers.
Oh God, I know. It happened to me today. The sunset, this is also
It was a gorgeous sunset tonight.
It was
beautiful.
Impeccable. It was my palette for sure. One side was like fiery orange on the tree horizon with purple.
There was some purple. It was great.
The other side was like glowy yellow, and the bottom of the clouds are pink, and the top of the clouds are purple. And it really was. It was like a 360 sunset.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Amazing. And I walked
beautiful.
outside and there was some kid who works in my office walking, and I was like, dang, look at the sunset. He's like, yeah, you know it's pollution though, right? And I was like,
you know what? You're pollution.
know.
You are polluting my good time right now. You're polluting the majesty of this.
Yeah.
So, like, just get the fuck out of
you're
here.
fucking up my algorithm.
That's right.
My algorithm of life.
That's
You're
right.
ruining it. So get out of it. Yeah. So
God.
fuck those people.
Is Sunset Truthers a thing, or did you coin that?
I think I coined it. I mean, I was trying to come up with a way to describe them.
If anyone wants to buy Sunset Truthers merch, it will be available on our website soon.
We gotta make that into a shirt.
Yeah.
I know it was a real bummer, but
Yeah, what a bummer, dude. Get out of here.
And I really just want to be like, hey man, why don't you write down what you're grateful for every night?
Yeah,
for
why
a
don't you
month?
practice some gratitude?
Yeah.
God. I feel that.
Yeah.
I mean, mine's not as disappointing, but I really am just tired of restaurants trying to slang like lemon garlic vinaigrette as Caesar dressing. I've really fucking had it. I'm like, you know what? Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I want it to be thick. I want it to be like half mayonnaise. I want it to be anchovies. I want to feel like I might possibly have a heart attack after I eat this salad.
Yeah.
If there's not at least 13 grams of saturated fat, I don't fucking want it.
I mean,
get out of here.
Half of the dressing is the viscosity alone.
Absolutely. And like, it's gotten to a point now where I just have to ask beforehand, what's your dressing situation? Because I am a Caesar. If there's a Caesar salad on the menu, I'm ordering it. And that's the end of the story. But if you're going to bring me this garbage,
Yeah.
I'm not having it.
No, it's very true.
I'm not eating this because it's healthy. No one's eating a Caesar salad because it's healthy.
Yeah.
If you're trying to eat a healthy salad, get a fucking spinach salad.
Yeah, no one eats the Caesar
with a balsamic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're here for the flavor, people.
That's right.
Yeah. And what is it about the Caesar dressing that does make it so distinct? Is it the anchovies?
I think it's the anchovies, because here's the thing.
But you can make it without anchovies and it still tastes like Caesar.
And like true Caesar dressing is literally just like egg yolks. Okay, but when you're talking about like a like that's where they're like making it table side. You know, if you're talking about a sustainable Caesar dressing, like that you're buying at the grocery store, that you're getting at a restaurant, it's not really made that way. It's like soybean oil and like fucking like the way they make shelf stable mayonnaise.
Swag shit.
Yeah, but it's still delicious. Yeah. You know, it's just when they try to come at me with that like runny vinaigrette with like garlic and lemon. No, this is not Caesar.
Where did you come upon this? Like
it's rampant, Hollis.
I mean, yeah, but I just want to. Did you experience this?
I've experienced it. No, not recently. I mean, I feel like I experience it regularly in my life of dining out, where I'm like, what is this the imposter dressing that you're trying to push off as Caesar?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah, no. I mean, I definitely have too. I just didn't know if there was a particular time that really
I was just
set
thinking
you
about.
off.
I guess I was just thinking about it because I buy a particular Caesar dressing at the grocery store that I use at home, and they didn't have it, and I had to get this other kind.
Yeah,
and it was not as bad as this restaurant one that they're trying to pawn off, but it wasn't
well,
great.
It's like when restaurants make their own ketchup, and you're like, just don't, dude.
Just don't.
No one fucking cares or needs that.
Yeah.
Just buy ketchup.
Right.
You know, it's the same thing with Caesar dressing. If you don't know how to make it, don't fucking make it. Just get Caesar dressing.
Yeah. Or if you do,
make it
good.
Taste good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well,
I also have one more just brief one. I bought a new vehicle in 2022, okay? Prior to that, I had driven my 2012 Scion TC6.
Oh.
It's Scion is Toyota. It was just
No, but I was thinking
you were thinking my Toyota truck.
I forever.
I did have a 1997 Toyota Tacoma that I drove for like 12 years.
It was a stick shift and it had a Jerry Garcia sticker on the back, and that is forever.
Annabelle's Brewery bumper sticker.
Yeah.
It was a great vehicle, and my Scion was also a 6-speed manual. I loved it. It was my single girl car. It was a little sporty. It was great. But it was a 2012. So when we got rid of that and was like, okay, I need like a mom car, we bought a Hyundai Tucson. It was the first car I ever had that was a push start. Okay. Great feature. Love it. Good. Great. One bad thing. At least when you have to put the key in the ignition, you know where the key is.
Yeah. I run into
One thing I have had happen twice now is that the car is detecting the key while it's on the roof of the car.
Oh.
That's not been great for me.
That's never happened to me before. Ooh.
This most recent time, the first time I got into the car, it started, and then for whatever reason, I was just like looking for the key, and I was like, where is it? Couldn't find it. And then I was like, oh shit, I think I left it on top of the car. And I did. I was still like in my garage, so it was fine. This most recent time, I literally like went around, like turned right, and I like heard something.
No, like you were driving.
I was driving,
Yeah, what happens
and it
if it
slid
flies?
off the roof of the car onto the side of the road. I just happened to hear it. And for whatever reason, it clicked in my brain, and I was like, those were my fucking keys.
Oh, shit.
And I pulled over, and I live kind of out in the country. It's like on a little bit of like a country road. So I had to like wait for the next driveway, pulled into the driveway, and had to like walk the side of the, because it's not really safe to like, I have my kid in the car, had to like walk the side of the road, and was like, there they are, picked them up.
Oh my gosh, like what would have happened if they flew off and you didn't notice and you were driving? Would your car just shut off at some point? Like, how does that work?
Well, I don't know, because it does at some point, I think, do that thing where it's like will automatically shut off.
Right.
I don't know if it would have done that, or if I would have just gotten to my destination, turned the car off, and then not been able to start it again.
And have no
idea.
That's terrifying.
So, PSA, your car will detect them as being in the car if they are on the roof.
Oh, shit.
At least mine did. So, anyway, there's that.
Well, that's good to know. Damn.
Yeah.
That is something I would do, too. I'm surprised I haven't yet.
Yeah, well, I've done it twice, so there you go. Okay, grapes.
Oh, my grape was a sunset from earlier. That was my grape and my grape.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so
I can do I have another one? No, that was pretty much
That's
it.
fine. It was a beautiful sunset. It's a good grape.
Yes.
My grape, I have two. One is, I just really love cozy season.
Oh, yeah.
I love the fireplace. I can't wait. It's finally, now the weather has turned. It's supposed to snow here tomorrow a little bit. I'm so excited. I love a blanket on the couch. You and a friend of mine, another friend of ours from college that turned me on to the robes. I was never like an after shower robe girl. Hollis used to like immediately take a shower, put her robe on, and come out to like the couch or the recliner and fall asleep in her robe and take a robe nap. And our other college friend did the same thing.
Robe naps are, some of the best sleep I have ever had. Robe naps in general are fantastic. Everyone should get into them. But the robe naps at our first apartment at Pete Ellis Drive, specifically the recliners that you inherited from your parents.
Yes.
There has been no better slumber I have ever found.
You and this other girl that we were friends with too. And like, you know who you are if you're listening. She was the same. She would take a shower, come out, and like immediately fall asleep in her robe. And they actually got me a robe for like my birthday. Yeah. That was the first robe I had. You guys went on together and got me a robe. So yeah, just cozy season. Yeah. Robes, blankets, fireplace. Love it.
You know what I don't have is a robe. I got to get one.
Oh my God. How is that possible?
I don't know.
Didn't make the move, I guess.
I guess not.
And my second grape, and like I'm gonna try and keep this quick because like this is gonna be a long one, guys. Like if you stayed with us this long, thank you.
You're welcome for the extra long episode.
My second grape is just this podcast. I mean, all the moms out there can probably relate, especially if you're a mom who decided to leave your career and stay home. And it can be the most wonderful thing, but there are also things about it that can be difficult and isolating. And it's so nice to just have something to come and do that's like just for me. And it's not about my family. It's not about my kids. It's just for me. And doing it with my best friend is like, I couldn't have asked for anything like more fun and like more just the best. And so I love it. And I'm having so much fun. And I hope you guys all are too listening. And yeah.
Oh, what a great grape. What a grape.
What a grape.
Super grapey. I feel the same way. It's been so much fun. And I hope people are enjoying it as much as we are. And yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you need something to do with your bestie, start a pod.
Yeah, and you know, if you're like, this is gonna sound like so corny and like exaggerated, but like chase your dreams, you know? And like if you have like been thinking about doing something and you're letting fear creep in, you're letting self-doubt creep in, I get that. We get that. We had all of that going into this. Like, there are going to be people that listen and don't like it. There are going to be people that listen and don't like us. And you know what?
And I still have doubt. I still am just like, ew, should we be doing this? But it's fun. And
yeah, it's been just the funnest journey. And it's just beginning. And yeah, it's exciting and it's fun. And so if you're on the fence about anything like that, just do it. Stop with the self-doubt, stop with the fear, and just do it.
Yeah.
Okay, love you, bye.
Bye.